Okay, setting a proper motivation with 3 points to keep in mind. Refuge field, visualize Bodhicitta, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Arya Bodhicitta, Arya Manjushri, Arya Maitreya, Arya Vajrapani, Arya Tara, Arya Nagarjuna, Arya Dev, Buddha Palita, Acharya Chandrakriti, Acharya Tingnaga, Arya Sangha, Acharya Vasubandhu, Acharya Tingnaga, Acharya Dharmakirti, Bodhisattva Chandrakshit, Bodhisattva Shanti Deva, Bodhisattva Chandrakshita. And even if you may not be able to identify who each of them are, just visualize that, yes, these enlightened beings somehow who are directly connected with our practice of the Bodhicitta, our practice of the wisdom of emptiness. Then Acharya Kamalashil, then Lama Silingpa, then Bodhisattva Atishita Gungara Shri Jnana, and imagine the whole space in front of us filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And how you visualize them, they are like your very kind parents, and you are their very affectionate child. But you come home demoralized from the school, and your parents are waiting there to give you full love, affection, attention, so forth. And this is a fact, it's not what we are fabricating. This is a fact that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are just waiting there to give full love and affection, attention to you. Next, Bodhicitta field, visualize your two grandparents on your two sides, all your family members, including children, and all other dear mother sentient beings. Everyone from Rumakito Resort, the staff, the staff, everyone from this, and then including the fish, the mosquitoes, insects, and so forth. And everyone from Indonesia, everyone from the entire world, and everyone from the entire universe. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken this Buddha nature, which by no means, in its true form, different from that of the Buddha's highest quality of perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power, manifested from the fabric of the Dharmakaya, national Dharmakaya, of the cessation of the national stains. While it is there, the difference between the Buddhas and with ordinary beings is that this incredibly pure Buddha nature, the treasure, is obscured by the mental defilements in the form of afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. Afflictive obscurations, the mere presence of which stops us from achieving freedom from samsara, and whereas the cognitive obscuration, the mere presence of which obstructs us from achieving total enlightenment, Buddhahood, full awakening. And how to get rid of these two defilements? The gross one, afflictive obscurations, which consist of 3 parts: contaminant karmas, afflictions, and the active seeds of the contaminant karmas and the afflictions, which are all rooted to the self-grasping ignorance. Of course, self-grasping ignorance is also a part of the affliction, but that being the chief, we say, all afflictions arise from this. And because they all arise from the self-grasping ignorance, by exterminating this self-grasping ignorance, all of the afflictive obscurations, they are exterminated automatically. To exterminate this self-grasping ignorance, the wisest thing to do is by introducing the light of the wisdom to see the reality as it is, and the reality of interdependency and the reality of emptiness. And on the other hand, the cognitive obscuration can be eradicated by the same wisdom of emptiness, but this time driven by the force, and boosted by the force of the motivation of renunciation plus bodhicitta. Okay, with that in mind, all sentient beings are joining you, and you are leading all beings into this journey of the Gade Gade Paragade Parasambhade Bodhisattva, the internal journey of enlightenment. Page 2. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the Buddhas and of the hearers and Bodhisattvas, who through the knowledge of all these here seek complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of omniscience, the subduers set forth the variety serving all aspects. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher, Sugata, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Page 7. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam La Chanju Bardo Dane Gyabzuchi Lage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjir Sanje Ju Baraisho Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam Chanju Bardo Dane Gyabzuchi Lage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjir Sanje Ju Baraisho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Chanju Bardo Dane Gyabso Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjir Sanje Ju Baraisho. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well as taught by the great seer. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Deshan Tathagato Evatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Swaha. Page 8. The Sutra Remembering the Three Jewels. And as we recite these, keep in mind that the qualities mentioned of the Buddha, qualities mentioned of the Dharma, qualities mentioned of the Sangha. See if you have these qualities within you, some of these. And if you do see that some of these qualities are with you, you rejoice, and see how to nurture them further. One. And then if you don't have these, some of these qualities, and knowing that these are the qualities through which one traverses along the path, gate, para, parasangha, bodhisattva, see how you can cultivate these qualities. And then how nurture these qualities. So this is what we should be doing as a fun benefit over visiting this sutra. Homage to the Omniscient One, purified and consummate, victorious, virtuous and transcendent, thus gone for destroying, entirely perfected Buddha, full of wisdom, the blissfully proceeding, the knower of the world, charity and subduer of beings, unsurpassable and teacher of gods and men. Such is Buddha, victorious, virtuous and transcendent. He who is thus gone exemplifies the merit which is his cause. In him no root of virtue is ever worn away. Through his manifold patience, he is excellent and beautiful. He is the treasure ground of merit, adorned with the token of enlightenment. He is the grace with the flowers of the marks of Buddhahood. All he does is timely and opportune, and nothing inharmonious mars the sight of him. True joy indeed he gives to those who open up their hearts to him in faith. Through the brilliance of his wisdom, he is unconfounded, and against his power there is no victory. He is the teacher of all living beings, the father of all bodhisattvas, the king of all supreme ones. He is a God for those who journey to the city beyond affliction. His wisdom is unbounded, his assurance is beyond imagination. His speech is altogether pure, well-tuned and sweet to hear. Gazing on him, one is never satiated. His body is beyond compare. By the realm of desire, he is unstained, and by the realm of form, is wholly uncontaminated. He is not mingled with the formless. He is altogether free from misery and from the aggregates. He is utterly and altogether liberated. Elements have no hold on him. He has mastery over the sense powers. All his bones are completely severed, and from all pains he is perfectly and totally released. No craving does he have. He has passed beyond the strength. Perfect is his wisdom, and in the wisdom of the Buddhas past, present, and to come. He has made his dwelling in nirvana, where all suffering is transcended. He does not abide. His abode is on the summit of perfection. Whence he perceives all living beings, such are the sublime qualities that are the greatness of the Buddha, victorious, virtuous, and transcendent. The sacred doctrine is righteous in the outset, righteous in the middle, righteous in the end. In its meaning excellent, and its words in syllables. Likewise, it is integral and unalloyed. It is all-sufficing, altogether pure and purifying. Well-spoken is this Dharma, but victorious, virtuous, and transcendent. It is a perfect way of seeing and is devoid of flaws. It is perennial and is its own word. To see this Dharma is to fulfill one's purpose. It produces in the wise the wisdom all distinguishing. The Dharma spoken by the victorious, virtuous, and transcendent is shown to be well tempered to the instructions and to the needs of all. It draws one from samsara and causes one to go to perfect Buddhahood. It is free from contradiction, and in it all is summarized. It is to be relied upon totally. It is a cutting of the root. The Sangha of the Mahayana comprises those who are well-tempered, entered with straightforwardness and aptitude. Right it is to join one's hands before them, and right to make prostrations. They are the glorious field of merit. They are the perfect recipient of gifts. They are the object of offering everywhere and always. They are the objects worthy of all offering. Okay, praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four-destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct. Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed. teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the suitor, I prostrate, make offerings, and go to refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced off 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Trustworthy like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one gone to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, virtue that frees one from lower realms, one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies our moral precepts, to you the sublime community actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp. And be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Heart Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Bhagavan was dwelling on the mass of Vulture's mountain in Rajgriha. Concentration on the categories of the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of the wisdom, and behold, these 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice Shariputra, likewise all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without sin, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object to touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on. No extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering origination. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Dhyata Om Gade Gade Bara Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaham. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. Once you have practiced the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Okay. As we recite the mantra, imagine, recall the Bodhicitta, very compassionate teacher, exhorting us thus: don't remain in the fears of samsara, don't remain in the tension, stress, and the anxiety, and the tragedy, and the miseries of samsara. Come towards ultimate happiness. Awaken the Buddha nature and experience the boundless happiness eternally. And you hearing this melodious voice, you then inspire your two grandparents, all of dear mothers and beings. This is what is our compassionate Bodhicitta is exhorting us. Let us not fear, let us not reign in these fears of samsara anymore. Let us all go together towards the Buddhahood, towards the state where our compassionate teacher Bodhicitta has reached. We'll all go towards there by awakening the seed of Buddha nature, by discarding the self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. And imagine everyone so happily joins you, and you're all going towards this journey, with this journey towards Buddhahood, the ultimate happiness, to awaken this beautiful Buddha nature, and through the force of the wisdom of emptiness, driven by this most appealing mind of the Bodhicitta. Okay, and everyone is joining you. Tiyatha Om Gate Gate Paragade Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha Tiyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate 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 Bodhiswaha Tiyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha. Page 18. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of the truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, 8th verse mind training. To first of all distinguish the two things: self-referential ego and the self-confidence, and then see the self-referential ego is the one which attracts all the miseries. And this self-referential, in the loose sense, is nothing but the mixture of the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, and attracts all our miseries. Then on the other hand, we have the self-confidence. That is the root of all the happiness and all good qualities. And with this, knowing that finally what attracts all our miseries, anxiety, stress, tension, depression, so forth, is a self-referential ego. If you really see that you should hate someone instead of hating oneself, hate this self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude. And by no means this self, this is erroneous. This self is so precious, so precious. It is this self which will traverse along this path, gati gati, paragati, parasamgati. Bodhisattva will eventually become the sun, like the enlightened one, omniscient one, and this self is the one which is going to liberate all those who are connected, karmically connected with you, and who are most immediately karmically connected with you, and all other sentient beings, no doubt, with whom you have karmic connection. So therefore, see, in our case, at times you may feel low, at times you may feel a little disgusted and so forth. At such situation, instead of feeling angry towards the self, feel angry towards this self-referential ego, one. And then should encounter with your friends and people around you, friends, and so forth, going through depression and so forth, and then to the extent of committing, just unspeakable actions of the suicide and so forth, it is very important to first give love and affection towards them. This is the most important thing. Before you try to stop all these actions like this, then the person may become worse. So just see how much you can give love and affection. Listen to what the person has to say. And don't say no. Don't say you are not right like this. Just listen and just keep saying that what you said is correct. And at the same time, then see that by no means you are the one who is the wrong side. You are so precious. And we all have that tendency to go through this kind of problem. And it's not just you, everyone. And at the same time, this you, I, he, she, everyone is so precious. Because we will eventually we'll follow this gate, paragate, bodhisattva. And we achieve this enlightenment, and we are the one who is the final hope and the solace for all the demon sentient beings. So if there is someone to whom you should really feel angry about and the hateful of, it should be the self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude, not the self. This self is so precious. Okay, so this is what we need to spread towards others. Nowadays there are so many people who are going through mental illness, and then the tendency for going to take extreme steps. So if you do come across such situations, it's very important to spread this message, and this is how we help others. So it was mind training. This is primarily to subdue the self-referential ego. In the process, if somebody does not have such a clue, people may get the impression that, it is very self-denial, so I will I'll give all the victories to others, then I will be the loser. So I'm already a loser, and now this text makes me more loser. Okay, so this is what many of the people may misunderstand it. So this is how we have to understand it properly. And then if you understand it properly, it's such a joy. There's such a joy there. And there's a joy without any side effects. Usually there's always side effects with the joys. You're excited, your ego is inflated, and so forth. So this is how we have to use this adverse mind training. Okay, together. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, without pastas, even the wish for the future, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully I uphold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. Both directly and indirectly, may I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of age, mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my true collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eyes blinded by ignorance. 7. Puja. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you lions amongst humans, gone to the freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down, with the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world. To all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every atom of Buddhas, numberless as atoms, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas. I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With the infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you gone to bliss. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense I offer to you victorious ones. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped as how it smiled mirror. All wonders offering is in spectacular array, offered to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done, with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion, all this I before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize Parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons, numberless as atoms of the world, helping of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have created by paying homage, offering and acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, model offering. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha filled and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajibhe Mendo Tam Rera Le Shenyen De Gyambai Di Sanye Shendo Mede Bewaye Jogunam Dai Shenlai Chebarai Sho. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming frustrated with ignorance that grasps at true existence. Please bless me with genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Rana Mendelagam Nirate. Amen. Okay, the foundation of all good qualities. The main practice. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correction, devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all. Please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great question arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so for all mother migratory beings, please bless me to say this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vow with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding expression inside. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the Supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the true attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges to like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing it with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing qualities of stages and paths. May I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay. Okay, so the shamatha renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom and emptiness. For this, the first one, as a part of the shamatha practice, let's see the physical exercise. Are you ready? Okay. So now for this hall is little small. Otherwise, this hall looks very cozy. Yeah, it's a little small, so don't hit each other. Are you ready? Okay, so he can go a little bit there. Okay, those on this side, see if you can be a little that side so that there's a little space. Oh, Carrie's going to be squeezed between all 6 around. Okay, good, ready? Okay, Lee's so excited to hit the wall. Okay, yes. Ready? 1. Okay, so now the right shoulder 5 times inward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so in fact rotating is a little difficult. What you do is that initially no hurry, right? What you do is that you first lift it up, then go in the outside, then put it down, then back, and then up, right? You do like this, top, then front, down, back, then top. So this, and then slowly it will start rotating. Otherwise you keep doing like this, it'll like this, right? Okay, no hurry. It'll take a little time. It's fine. Okay, let's do this again. Outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now the left inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now together inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so at home you must practice it, and then slowly it become more, say, the visible and more effective. Okay, then this side, 1, to stretch the back, particularly for someone who sits for long practice, long sitting meditation. Okay, so there's no hard and fast rule to which to do first. So let's, as a standard, let's do the right one first. So there, what we do is that the 2 hands on the knees, and then the shoulder, right shoulder should come out. And meanwhile, the hand should not be bent like this. It should be straight, which means that if you keep it straight and come out, then your body will bend. Body will naturally bend. Okay, with this, then you try to move this as close towards the left knee, right? Okay, let's 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the other side. Then so when the other side, the other shoulder works, then the left knee, with what we call it, angle, will be bent, right? Okay, the right will be bent, left will be straight. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, right. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Okay, who's able to touch the knees without bending the angle? Huh? Younger ones. Hongshen? Okay, one side you can touch. Very good. So Yi? No? Carrie? No? Okay, anyone? Maybe some people who do yoga regularly, they can touch. Anyone? Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Now the meditation. 5 minutes breathing meditation. Okay. Ready? Okay, for the breathing meditation or for any meditation, of course there are 4 points to keep in mind. The body posture. This is like, because this is the last session for this retreat. So if you need a little bit of clarification and so forth, this would be helpful. And the 4 points, the body posture, then the focal point, then identifying the errors of meditation, then finally applying the remedies. remedies to overcome the errors. One, the body posture. For the body posture, if you can sit cross-legged, this is the best. And if you cannot, unless you have knee problems, you have knee problems, hip problem, then that you are that is the exception. Otherwise, even if you cannot do it now, but through practice, slowly you can do it. You can do it. So for this, what we do, of course, we know this. See, you pull the left foot on your right leg, and the right foot on your left leg. Right. This is how we should be doing, like the position of the Buddha's cross-leg position. Then the body, the backbone should be upright. This is very important. Backbone should be upright. And oftentimes, some people have a very bad sitting posture like this. Like this. This is very bad. Okay, so then what it becomes is that when you straighten, then it's so uncomfortable. And then sitting with the back, the curved, it will do no benefit. It will only harm you. And then the disc dislocation, the vertebrae disc plus spinal disc dislocation can happen, and slowly it come out. The big problems can happen. So therefore, always learn how to sit upright. And sitting upright for long, and can slowly have a little bit of, say, pain and so forth happening. For this, we do this stretching exercise. You will get rid of this problem. And this is so while the body is upright, the energy flow is very smooth. Because the energy flow is smooth, energy and the mind, these two are like the two sides of the same coin. So when the energy flows well, and from this Tantra point of view, energy and the mind, these two are just, you look at the mobility side, it's the energy, and the cognitive side, it is the mind. It's the same object actually. Okay, so with this we see that it is the flow of the energy, the more smooth the flow of the energy, the mind is more fresh and supple. Okay, this is very important. Now the next part is the head part, little tilted forward, that is fine, that is easy, and it is not really mandatory. So sometimes where the practitioners can simply gaze in the sky like this, gaze in the sky, you don't have to put your head down, just gaze in the sky, gaze to other people, and actually meditating inside. You are not actually there, your eyes are gazing in the sky, but your mind, mental consciousness is meditating, right? Okay. So anyway, with this one element, keeping your head a little tilted forward, and one of the most important things, or one of the two most important things, one is the body upright, number two is the eyes open. Initially, eyes open. And only when you become a little expert in meditation, then you can keep your eyes closed. That's fine. Close, open. Sometimes they deliberately do meditation with the eyes closed, and everything becomes so dark, deliberately made so dark. That is at a little later stage. But initially, if you start like this, it's very dangerous. It can be more harm than benefit, right? Okay. So eyes open, not closed. Eyes open means eyes are just in a very naturally open. Don't just train your eyes like this, right? Partially seeing, then strain your eyes like this. That is very, very harmful. It can create headache in you, right? So what we do is that just keep your eyes in a very natural. Say, for example, if you're looking at, for example, like this pen at a position where your eyes are cast 45 degrees down, how would you look at? Just naturally, keep it very naturally. Keep it very naturally there, and ignore the eye consciousness. Simply your mental consciousness should work, right? And that initially is difficult. You will continue to see what is on the table, what is just right there in your eyesight. You continue to see that, but slowly, this is where our mind our mind is not obedient to you. Your mind is not obedient to you, because your mind does have that capacity to do away from your eye consciousness. Your mental consciousness has that capacity, has that power, has that potential to to be separated from the eye consciousness. For example, I'm talking to you, and if there is some kind of loud sound from behind, then I may not be looking at it, but my mental consciousness may instead be directed towards that side, right? My mental consciousness will instead go towards the ear consciousness. For the ear consciousness, it will ignore the eye consciousness. So our mental consciousness has that capacity. But when we want our mental consciousness to behave like this, to be separate from the eye consciousness, then the mental consciousness always says, I will go with eye consciousness. Right? We cannot separate it. So that is how our mental consciousness is so disobedient. If this is the degree of the disobedience of the mind, where is the meditation? Meditation is to control the mind. And now the mind is totally disobedient because it does not listen to you to be separate from eye consciousness. And it is giving excuses that, oh, if I keep my eyes open, I'm always constantly seeing what is in front of me. So this is where, because this is happening, we need a training. We need a training to separate the mental consciousness from the eye consciousness. So eye consciousness is down there, but you separate mental consciousness. Mental consciousness can be focused here, or focused on the breath, focused on Buddha image, or focused on any other things. So this is how we, and then slowly, once you acquire that skill, where your eye consciousness are like this, but your mental consciousness can be directed anywhere you like. For example, I'm looking at you, then my mind can be directed inside, or on the mind, right? So this skill you have to acquire. So once you have this skill, then even in public, you maybe say, if they are lucky, if there are like more than 3 people. If you're 2 people, you have to keep talking, right? Because if you say like this, the other person keep talking, then the other person, what are you doing? What's happening to you? Whereas if there are more than 3 people, you are very lucky. You be there and keep meditating with eyes open, keep meditating. And others will take the responsibility to talk, right? So this would be. Whereas if you only know how to do meditation with eyes open, eyes closed, then the people start talking, and you keep your eyes closed, and then people think, what are you doing? With eyes open, they think that you are participating, right? Okay. So this skill that we have to. Anyway, meditation should be done by mental consciousness, not by eye consciousness. Keep this in mind. Okay. So with this, eye open, 45 degrees cast down, and 2 things. Eyes, although in the text there's a mention that the eyes should be piercing through the tip of the nose. Don't do that. Right? It must be at the time when the people have a long nose. Because the moment you do like this, it's so much a strain on your eyes. So much a strain on your eyes, right? Right? Whereas, or it may be with respect to someone who is expert in meditation, where you just keep your eyes focused on your nose and your mental consciousness is separated already. Right? If we reach to that level of the expertise, that's wonderful. Otherwise, finally the point is, as I said earlier, keep the eyes 45 degrees cast down. Even that is not mandatory, because there are so many practices where you gaze your eyes in the space. Right? In a space like this, where is 45 degree? Right? So therefore, 45 degrees is not really mandatory, and then through the tip of the nose is also not mandatory. What is mandatory? Initially is to keep your eyes open, half open like this, in a very natural state. Don't strain your eyes. In a very natural state like this. Right? In a natural state, we will never strain our eyes like this. Right? Okay. So this is very important. And then breathe naturally. Keep the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid accumulation of excessive saliva in the mouth. Right? And your right hand on the left hand. Right hand. And then place the 2 hands on your laps in a restful state. And breathe naturally. Breathe naturally. Don't impose in the breath. Don't impose on breath. There is one specific the meditation known as the vast breath meditation. So that is a special in the sense that is separate. Otherwise, for all of the meditations, don't force your breath, don't control your breath. Right? Okay, just let the breath flow naturally. Okay, this is body posture. Then what are you going to focus on? That is very important, and particularly for the Singaporeans. Most who are very busy going through a very busy lifestyle. So it's very important for you to think of, say, meditation to calm you down, to distress yourself, and in the long run, for the good of your own dharma practice. Immediate benefit to distress, and for the long run, for your dharma practice. For that purpose, meditation on the shamatha meditation. Somehow we have to do that. That is very important. Right? Okay. Now, as a part of that, then the object, the breath, is just the ideal object for the time being. The breath, because if you choose the mind. The mind itself is very subtle, so we can't see that. And to really see to that level of the mind, we need more leisure time for meditation. And in most cases, Singaporeans don't have that time, right? One. And then without seeing the mind, it's just total waste of time. Just trying to observe the mind and you are not all getting it. And then you already spend like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's just waste. So whereas if you have a leisure time, and then with all the proper instructions, conducive factors, the accumulation merit, backed by merit and so forth, then if you can do the meditation observing the mind, the seeing the nature of the mind, that would be very helpful. But in the circumstances with such a busy lifestyle, then it's best to use the breath, because the breath as the object is already there, and is not too gross. Because it's not too gross, your mind can settle down easily. And it's not too subtle, which you cannot see. You can easily see that. So this is the very ideal object of meditation. Okay. So what we do is that we focus on the white circular dot, 1 mm or 2 mm in diameter, between nose and upper lip. So while you focus mind there, multitasking, counter breath. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 2. So this is how we do it. And then at home, if you are a beginner, what I would suggest is don't go for the length of the day. Don't go for the length of the meditation. Go for the quality. Don't go for the quantity. Go for the quality. Quality meaning that keep it short, like 21 cycles. 21 cycles, and oftentimes even the 21 cycles you cannot manage. Even the 21 cycles we cannot manage. 21 cycles, so by the time you reach like 9, 10, again you are distracted, right? Okay, so just see there's a quality when you do the meditation with the 21 times. Okay, once you finish that, then you can keep a gap of like few seconds gap, say 3, 4, 5 seconds gap, and again you do 21 times. Okay, most of you are feeling cold, is it? Okay, we can switch this off. And that also, you feel cold, those? But this one? Okay, Jackie, over there. This one. Now this one? Okay, temperature lower, temperature a little higher. Temperature a little higher. Don't say lower. Too hot? That's true. So what we do is that just increase the temperature. What's the temperature for the time being? What's the temperature for the time being? Make it 27. Yeah. 27 is very good. Yeah. 27 is good. So put it on, keep it 27. This one is fine, for me it's fine. Thank you, Jackie. Okay. So now the say then the at home then say do like 3 sessions in the morning. 3 sessions in the morning, which means like 4 or 5 minutes. 3 sessions in the morning, right? And then evening 3 sessions, and depending on the availability of your time, say when you can do it. Practically speaking, whenever you have time, do it. Okay, if possible, make it a fixed time. That would be very good. Okay. Then next is and then if you see that there's a quality, 21 times breathing, is not at all problem. You have a quality there, no distraction, no laxity. If there's quality there, then slowly you can extend it to like 5 minutes. From 21 cycles, 21 cycles is over a little over 1 minute, and then you can extend to 5 minutes. And stay there for some time. Although don't be too excited, don't be too ambitious. Stay there for like 1 or 2 months. 1 or 2 months, because unlike someone in solitude, you are in a busy city life. So therefore, the quality you can easily compromise with the quality. It shouldn't happen. Whereas in isolation, like this place, how we are sitting we've been together right from the early morning till the late evening. We are all together. So that is a very conducive environment. Under such situation, then we can go a little faster. Say like in 1 week time, you can extend it to like 5 minutes, and the next week you can extend to like 10 minutes. This is how we can do. But in a busy lifestyle in Singapore, even what we are doing now, if we can maintain this itself is amazing. Let us see how much we can maintain it, right? Okay. So the best would be morning 3 times, 21 cycles 3 times, evening 3 times, right? And then if you could maintain the quality, then in about like 1 or 2 weeks time, then you can extend to 5 minutes and stay there for about like 2-3 weeks or 1 month. Even though you can do it so well in 5 minutes, for about a month, if there is quality, retain the quality within 1 month, then you can extend it to 10 minutes and keep it for some time, for like 2 months like this. And then then you have to, after this, the best would be report to, say for example in Singapore, your teachers, right? And see what next to do. So we might have to extend to the object. Keeping the breathing meditation, then you can shift to the observe the mind or something like this. Okay, so this is one thing. And then the point number 3, identifying the errors of meditation. Errors of meditation 2, what are they? Mental laxity and mental excitement. And what are the 2 remedies to be applied? Introspection and mindfulness. Okay, make sure that you make the distinction between these 2. Oftentimes, people simply solidify introspection, mindfulness, everything as mindfulness. Mindfulness practice, mindfulness practice, mindfulness practice, right? So everything, so this is not the case. These 2 are very different. The introspection is to keep an eye. Keep an eye, for example, if you lose your pet dog. If you lose a pet dog, then you go in search of the pet dog. Go in search of the pet dog is the introspection. Once you find the pet dog, then what do? Job of the introspection is done. Then you tie the dog with a rope and bring it home and tie the dog at the feet of your home. So that rope is the mindfulness. Once you see that your mind is already distracted or in lax state, bringing the mind back to the intended object of meditation. That is mindfulness. Looking for where the mind is. This is not the mindfulness. This is introspection, right? This distinction we have to make. Okay, so applying the 2 remedies. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay, next renunciation. Ready? Okay. Renunciation. Renunciation has a connotation to renounce the miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how exactly to renounce the miseries in its most refined form. To renounce the miseries, remember what the Buddha said. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava. All phenomena arise from causes. If we don't want the particular phenomena of miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of miseries. And to renounce the causes of miseries, we need to identify the cause of miseries so well. So, Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum deshan tathagato hyavatat. What the causes are is indicated by the Tathagata. So the causes, as we've already learned, taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni, that all miseries arise from the contaminated karmas, which in turn arise from afflictions, which in turn arise from inappropriate attention, and finally arising from self-grasping ignorance. So it is only through exterminating self-grasping ignorance that we can expect to exterminate all the miseries. We can stop all the miseries. But to exterminate the self-grasping ignorance, we need to exterminate the grosser layers of the cause of miseries as well. And the gross layers of the miseries and the subtle together is well explained in the teaching of the Four Seals. So with our mind, we'll meditate on the Four Seals, and today we'll do a guided meditation. All composite things are impermanent. In our life, think of all those memorable days when you were young, when you were in your teenage. They're all gone. School days, when you have friends, the boys, girls, the friends around, and enjoying, as well as the whole world would make no sense without these wonderful friends. Now even these friends are all scattered here and there. They are busy in their own job, they are busy in their own family members and so forth. Now that those very happy, memorable days are gone. And this is a fact. And those memorable days, physically you are very young. And mentally you are very energetic. Those days will not come back in this life anymore. This is impermanent. Likewise, let us not go too far away. Just look at a very beautiful flower, and in few days' time it withers. Once withered, it will not come back to its earlier freshness. Likewise, see yourself when you were so young, and see others when they were young, their physical complexion and so forth. And the change is invariable. So from this, we see that what is happening here today, and what is happening in many of the other places like pubs and so forth, and people just involved in indulgence. They think that this is the happiness, this is life. And 150 years back in time, people thought the same way. People thought the same way, that this is life, being going to indulgence, into pubs, dance, drinks, and so forth. Now, whether there is indulgence or not, whether that is life or not, whether it is the happiness or not. And likewise, the more decent families, the parents, they have a tremendous hope, they have a tremendous dream for the children, and plans for the children. The plans the dreams, hopes, whether accomplished or not accomplished, along with the plans, hopes and dreams, all these people will all disappear now. Not even a single person is left today. That is for sure. Likewise, the 7 billion human beings today, again the parents, they have a tremendous, they could see the tenderness of their young babies. And then they have all sorts of dreams for the teenage daughter, teenage son. And they have tremendous expectation from the young adult children. But 150 years in the future from now, whether the dreams, plans, accomplished or not accomplished, everyone is bound to disappear. Everyone who is living today will all disappear in 150 years in the future from now. This is impermanence, and keeping into consideration 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, when Jesus Christ was born, 2,500 years ago, when a very compassionate teacher, Bodhicitta was born on this earth. And then 15 billion years ago, when the Big Bang is believed to have happened. So keep in mind that duration of time, 150 years is nothing. It's just like a tiny speck of dust in the face of the whole universe. It's so tiny. It's so short. So our time on this earth is so short. This is known as a guest. We are like a guest on this earth. And some guests, they happen to be in a good restaurant, so they've got good facilities. Some guests happen to be in bad restaurants, they don't have good facilities. Likewise, some of us are born in good families. Some of us are born in poorer families. And then on that basis, we say, oh, I inherit this, I have that, and so forth. These are just like the facilities that you are using in a guest house. Because the moment you leave, the moment the guest leaves, everything has to be left behind. Likewise, the moment we leave this earth, which is such a short span of time, like a guest leaving the house, everything, whatever we owned, including our body, we have to leave everything behind. So we are not to forget that we are a guest on this earth. With this in mind, we should know how the guest will treat the guest house. We shouldn't think of changing the whole pipeline of the guest house, changing the kitchen system of the guest house. We should not think of renovating the whole wall. By the time the contractor comes, it is your time for you to leave. Likewise, just investing everything on this life, not seeing the longer days and the after this life. Many more lifetimes after this. That is an illusion. That is deception. So as a guest, we should know that okay, be happy in this life. It's not that you suffer in this life. Be happy in this life as a guest. At the same time, be wise enough to make sure that time, energy, resources, they are all not invested to this life, but invested for the future lives, for you to undertake this journey, gade parasamade bodhiswaha, towards enlightenment. That's true, that's amazing. Underscoring this impermanence, gross impermanence, is the subtle impermanence, which means everything which is of composite nature, they should necessarily undergo a momentariness. Momentariness means composite phenomena, they don't last for even a millisecond duration. Even 1/1,000,000th of a duration, they don't last. So this is how everything moves so fast. The change that will happen in a young boy or a young girl over the last 10 years, So this change happened over 10 years, means every year the change was happening. The change that you see in 1 year was due to the change that you are seeing in the 12 months. And the change you're seeing in 1 month is because of the change that are happening in 30 or 31 days or 29 days. And the change that you see in 29 days or 30 days is because of the change happening that you see in a day. And the change that you see in a day is because of the change that you see in an hour, 24 hours. And then the change that you see in an hour is because of the change that you see in the minute. So till this point, we see that the change happening on the minute level, we may not be able to visibly see that. But for sure, the change happening on the minute level is happening on the second level. Now at that point, you can see the momentariness, although still on a gross level, tuck, 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 like a clock. So there we see the change. So this is how our body is moving. This is how the environment around us, they are moving so fast. And the change that you see in a second level is happening on the millisecond level, which means it's so fast. 1 second divided into 1,000 parts, so fast. And even 1 millisecond, the change that you see there is because the change that is happening on the 1 millionth of a second. 1 millisecond divided into 1 million, then 1 millionth of a second, which is just incomprehensible. So this is the kind of the change that is going there within the body, within ourselves, within the mind, within the environment, within the people that you interact with, and so forth. This is how the change is happening. If you're able to go to this subtlety of the change, it's so scary. It's so scary to look at it. But this is a fact. The only thing is that we have a very gross, our senses are so gross, so limited, that we cannot go to that extent of the subtle impermanence. But this reality that it is actually happening, change is happening at that subtle the level. So imagine that you go back, and through exercise, through this meditation, through this analytical meditation, you can really, literally go into this subtle, the changes happening. So there is so scary. The attachment to things simply dissolve. Aversion towards things dissolve. In fact, a fear, a sense of apprehension comes to us. What is this change? It's so fast moving. It's as though like we are suddenly, or a stranger picks you up and throws you into a very fast moving train. Faster the train moves, more the fear you have, because we don't know where this train is taking us. And where this train is taking us, it depends on the driver. If the driver is your mother or the father, no doubt this train will take you to a picnic spot. If that is the case, faster the train moves, happier you are, because closer you are going to be to the picnic spot. Unfortunately, if the driver is the abductors or the kidnappers or the terrorists, no doubt you're going to be taken to the slaughterhouse. So in our case, the driver, this very fast moving machine of a body, this very fast moving mind, and the fast moving the self, along with the fast moving environment, the driver is a mind, and the mind unfortunately is under the sway of the two demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. Now imagine that your whole body is moving so fast, like, okay, just stay there for a while to see how this body is moving so fast, and this is a fact. Stay there for a while. The environment around us, this hall, and people around us, they are like the vibrations, so fast, move vibrations. Just abide in this experience for a while. Does first moment arise, it disappears. Second moment arises, it disappears. Third moment arises, it disappears. This is how it moves so fast. It cannot be described in words. The moment you say the first moment arises, within that there are thousands of moments already erased and already gone. Just stay there for a while. So from this we see that we are literally like in a very fast moving train, and we are so apprehensive where this train is taking us, and we come to know that the driver in our case is a self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude, and these two are not at all your friends. These two are the demons. They will attract only miseries on you. They are throwing you, they are taking you so fast towards the next misery, so acute miseries. So as long as we are under the sway of the contaminations, only experience that we will go through is the miseries. This is what the Buddha indicated as the second seal. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. Suffering like what? Sickness, aging, death, the pain of losing near and dear ones, anxiety, stress, depression, and so forth. And one moment of such a pain is good enough. For example, acute pain of losing a near and dear ones is good enough to simply become insane, to simply feel the triviality of all the happiness that we experience in our life. That's very true. That's very true. So this is the kind of suffering that we go through as long as we are under the sway of the contaminations, the worst of which are self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. That's very true. It's so agonizing, it's so exhausting. And when will this stop? It will never stop. This drama of the misery will be played over and over again, over and over again. Is there no stop at all? Of course there is a stop, but if you don't put effort, it will go endlessly many. The fire, even if you don't put effort, when the fuel exhausts, automatically it comes to an end. Likewise, when the karma exhausts, then all these will come to an end. No, the karmas, one karma exhausts and thousands of new karmas are accumulated. So therefore, it becomes endlessly long. So then what kind of effort is required to put an end to this? I must put an end to this. If you want to put an end to this, Om ye dharma hetu prabhava. You must track the cause of these miseries. And finally we come to know that it is because of the miseries are because of the contaminated karmas, particularly the non-virtuous actions. And non-virtuous actions, precisely and more closely, the 10 non-virtuous actions are the three physical: stealing, killing, and sexual misconduct. They directly throw us into the miserable experiences, acute pain. Then the verbal: lying, slandering, harsh words, and idle gossip. And 3 mental: covetousness, ill will, and wrong view. And these 10 non-virtuous actions, they arise from the afflictions like attachment, anger, jealousy, which in turn arise from the inappropriate attention, false exaggeration of the characteristics of the objects, and which in turn arise from the self-grasping. Finally, we see that of course we have to try best to curb the contaminated karmas, particularly the 10 non-virtuous actions, and to curb the afflictions such as attachment, aversion, anger, and so forth. We have to try best. Meanwhile, for a long-term benefit, we have to exterminate the self-grasping ignorance. How to exterminate self-grasping ignorance? Self-grasping being ignorance, by the very definition, is the one which distorts the reality. To exterminate that, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom. Just as in dark, you don't see what is around you. With ignorance, you don't see what is the reality. So ignorance is like darkness, and just as to exterminate the darkness, we need to introduce light. Only through light that the darkness can be expected to be eliminated. Likewise, it is only through the wisdom of the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eliminated. What kind of the light of wisdom? The wisdom must be this wisdom must be a very special wisdom which is directly in opposition with the self-grasping ignorance with respect to the object of apprehension. Self-grasping ignorance says, It apprehends the object to be objectively real, and the wisdom must be able to apprehend the object as empty of objective existence. Okay, what is this wisdom then? So this wisdom is the one which sees emptiness of the objectivity, emptiness of objective existence of phenomena. Okay, how can we know this? This is what the Buddha taught as the third seal. Everything is of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. And how do we know this? For this, let's quickly meditate on emptiness of self. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. Where? In Jambi. Okay. And how does the self meditating appear to you? As like a movie projected by the projector, not at all coming from the screen, but all coming from this projector. Likewise, the self coming from a mind, the projector of a mind, or the self is independent of the mind, is so solidly there, solidified there. Of course, it's so solid there. This is known as the self-grasping ignorance, which views the self as so objectively there, independent of the subjective mind. And how can I know that this is erroneous? Okay, very good. Remember what Arjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person were to exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go closer to the object? Okay, now let us go closer to the object to see if the person exists objectively. Going closer to the object, we see that initially there's a very thin layer of skin. This is not that person. Remove this. We are only interested in the person, this person meditating. Going inside, you will see the fatty tissues. That's also not been removed that. Going inside, the flesh, the muscles, the cartilages. None of these systems are removed. Then the bones, the bone marrows, none of these is this person removed. Then the heart, the lungs, the intestine, the gallbladders, the spleen, and so forth. None of these solid part is the self. I see. So the solid part which constitutes the element of earth, none of the element of earth is the person. Yes, remove that. Now the element of water, the blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to the different parts of the body. If that is also not me, 100%. Remove that. Now the element of fire, the body heat. Body heat is also not me. Now people cannot see my body heat, but people can see me. And the body heat between the male and the female, there's no difference. But I'm a male, I'm a female. Gender difference is there, but for the body heat, there's no difference. So the body heat also not this person. Remove that. Element of fire. Then the element of space, no element of air. The air that I breathe out. Air is universal nature. There's no difference in gender. Air is universal. So therefore, even that is also not me. Remove that. Element of space. Element of space is vacuum in nature. And I'm a solid person. So therefore, that is also not me. Remove that. Element of consciousness. Even the consciousness is also not me. I'm a male, I'm a female. Consciousness does not fit gender. Gender is possible on the basis of the body. On top of that, people cannot see my mind, but they can see me. And on top of that, anything that exists should necessarily exist only conventionally. The moment we cross the conventionality, we reach the level of the ultimate. On the ultimate domain, nothing exists. So, the moment we cross the conventionality of the eye to see the mind, to see the body, we're already going to the ultimate domain. In the ultimate domain, the person disappears. Person disappears, which means that in the ultimate domain, when you point to the mind, this mind cannot be the self, because in that domain the self is not at all existent there. So if it's not existent, how can this mind in the ultimate domain be the self? So therefore, even the element of consciousness is also not made. Remove that. What is left now? Nothing is left. Bring back the six elements individually, all together there, but as an individual, independent entity. What are you seeing? I'm seeing six elements. Which among the six elements is the self? None. So when you say none, you already understood the second essential understanding, the emptiness of the self being one with its parts. Amazing. Now, if these six elements are not the self, remove the six elements and see what is different from the six elements. What is different there? What is the self that is different from the six elements? remove the six elements, nothing is left there. When you say nothing is left there, you understood the third essential. Essential understand the emptiness of the objects being different from the parts. Amazing. So with this, there are two questions. What are you seeing? I'm seeing the six elements. The second question, where is this person? This person disappeared. This person is empty. Abide in this. By using the answer to the first question, what are you seeing? I'm seeing the six elements. Use this as a stepping stone. And then go to the next. Where's the person? The person is empty. Abide in this experience for a while. The person is empty. Okay, what is the benefit of seeing this? What is the benefit of seeing this? Well, just as a person dissolves into this ultimate domain, all the miseries that we experience, why we feel them as miseries? Why we feel them as miseries? Is because we see them as so objective real miseries, and we feel them as miseries. Whereas on the contrary, if they truly exist objectively, then when we subject these miseries to this analysis, ultimate analysis, they will all disappear the way the person disappears, like the way the person disappears. Okay. So now imagine that you subject all the miseries to this analysis: sickness, aging, death, losing near and dear ones, so forth. By subjecting them to ultimate this analysis, they all disappear. Sorrow disappears. You have transcended sorrow. Transcended sorrow, the agitation dissolves, the peace is restored, and this peace is lasting. So it is for this that the Buddha taught the fourth seal. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Abide in this experience for a while. Now this peace you can experience on the basis of the experience of the emptiness. So this is most refined understanding of the renunciation. Okay, with this, we'll slowly move to the second, which is Bodhicitta. Reinforce the visualization of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you. So affectionate, so loving, so caring. Reinforce the visualization for all your dear mother sentient beings, including your two parents and all family members, including your children. Everyone, all sentient beings with you. And you are so loving, so caring towards all of them. You are like the mother, and all others are like your children. Okay, let's do the four immeasurables. Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, like the mother for the first time hearing eldest daughter, eldest son, committing to the mother, "Mother, please take rest. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of all my siblings. I'm already grown up. I'm already 13 years old. I'm already 14 years old. I'll take care of my siblings. Mother, you have done everything for us." And the mother, for the first time, in disbelief, such a young, tender daughter, tender child, son, making commitment to the responsibility, feeling the weight of the love and affection from the mother. This young girl, this young boy is making this commitment. Amazing. Mother, in disbelief, the tears roll down, and she's out of tremendous joy. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They are so intensely happy, and proud of you. And this pride and happiness invoke their compassionate, omniscient minds to send forth nectars and very soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies of beings in yours instills in all happiness and the cause for happiness within the dear sentient beings in yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the dear sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you, and this pride and happiness invokes the compassionate omniscient minds to send forth nectars and very soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings in yours washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the minds of sentient beings in yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the dear sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they are endowed with. May all my dear mother sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the cause of happiness that they are endowed with. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they are endowed with. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you, and this pride and happiness invoke their compassionate omniscient minds to send forth nectars and very soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings in yours stabilizes all happiness and the cause of happiness of beings endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the dear sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Okay, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. Instead, abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. The Buddha's Bodhisattva is making seeing that you make such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invokes their compassionate omniscient minds to ascend for nectar very soothing lights towards you and all human sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies makes yours frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, and making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear mother sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all as dear mother sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Okay. Underscoring all the four immeasurables is the unconditional love towards all dear mother sentient beings. Imagine that you are piercing through the eyes of all dear mother sentient beings, reassuring them that I'm there to take care of you. Have no worries. I'm there. And they feel so confident. They feel so happy. They feel so confident to the extent that they feel themselves as so special in your eyes. With that in mind, with folded hands, let's make a commitment, Bodhicitta. 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Abide in this most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta for a while. And slowly transform this beautiful Bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean white moon disk, 1 inch or 2 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting at your heart. It's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. But what guarantees that you can become a Buddha? Yes, I have a Buddha nature. Every sentient being has a Buddha nature. But this Buddha nature, since time immemorial till now, we have not seen it awakened. How can you expect it now that it can be awakened? It can manifest in the form of Buddha. Yes. So far, I was deceived by the self-grasping, the self-centered attitude, who always came in the facade of my best of the friends to guard me, to protect me. For the first time, I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons. These 2 are no more my friends. I'm going to exterminate the 2. I'm being disillusioned by the viciousness of these 2 things. Okay. Wonderful. But how can I exterminate these 2 demons? The final remedy to overcome the 2 demons is the wisdom of emptiness. And how can you cultivate this? Okay. Quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which you meditate as the 3rd seal of the part of which is the part of the four seals. Okay. You see yourself in the form of 6 elements, and by earth, water, fire, air, space, consciousness. What are you seeing now? You have already subjected yourself to ultimate analysis. What are you seeing now? I'm seeing the 6 elements. Where is this self? This self disappears. It is empty. Stay there in this experience. Abide in this experience for a while. Slowly transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically seated on the moon disk at your heart. Amazing, amazing. Now, guarantee that you're going to go to Buddhahood. Yes, amazing. So lucky, so fortunate. but all your dear mother Shinshim are also there. Yes, that's true. But the intensity of love and affection that you feel towards all dear mother Shinshim beings, this intensity invokes the Sarvasya moon that you visualize your heart multiply infinite number of times. Share one set with the mother, one set with the father, one set with each one of family members, including children, one set with each one of the staff here in Rumakoti, the resort, and share each one here, each one of the fish, the insects, the mosquitoes and so forth, here in Jambi, here in Indonesia, in your own countries, in the entire universe. Amazing, 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 amazing thing that you did today. Yes. Meanwhile, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are there. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are so proud, so happy today to see that you are doing wonderful thing today. So with this, imagine what the mother would feel, that always the eldest daughter, the daughter of the son, bringing embarrassment and bad news to the mother, complaints to the mother. For the first time, the school principal and everyone comes to the mother, and again the mother becomes very apprehensive, a little tense. But this time, the principal, how he or she comes is very different. There's a smile there. There's the gesture, there's a body language of respect there. Congratulating mother, and why congratulating? Your daughter is appointed as the best student of the year of the school. Your son is appointed as the best student. Two of your children, they are appointed as the best students of the school of this year. Mother could not believe her eyes, could not believe her ears. Amazing. This is exactly what is happening to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas today. They are so happy and proud of you over what you have done. So with this, with the tremendous joy and respect, tremendous joy and affection that you feel towards Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, why not we invite all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to a guest, to be a witness to this, our undertaking of the Ashram Bodhisattva vow. Along with all the sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, on your right knees, page 34. Okay, the first stanza, to prepare ourselves to undertake this Kesila. Okay. The first stanza is to prepare ourselves to undertake this journey and wholeheartedly feel that way. Wholeheartedly let your mind flow in the meaning of these words. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next 2 stanzas. The invoking Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and then the remembering how the Buddhas, they are perfect example for us. We are so fortunate to have such a wonderful example. Otherwise, it is beyond our imagination, inexpressible, incomprehensible to think of becoming enlightened. So because we have wonderful examples of the past Buddhas, Prince Siddhartha, who initially generated this very strong determination to become Buddha, the Bodhicitta, and to materialize this aspiration, engaged in the Bodhisattva practices, and now becoming such a light, such a sun to dispel the darkness of all the dear sentient beings. So with this amazing example set by Prince Siddhartha and all the past Buddhas who achieved already Buddhahood now. So with this, we will also make the commitment that I will also generate the Bodhicitta, very strong aspiration to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then likewise, I will also engage in the the practices in order to materialize aspirations of this Bodhicitta. So then during the third repetition, the last two lines, when you say, and likewise shall I to success follow the Bodhisattva practices, feel a very strong sense of joy, rejoicing in this act. Okay, 3 times. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, just as they successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, rejoice in this act of having undertaken the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And this is what all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they feel so proud, so happy over what you have done. And this happiness and pride the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invoke the compassionate, the set of Vajrayana moon to multiply infinite number of times. Share one set, infinite number of times in mirages like rain shower. They descend to much one that you visualize at your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, becoming stabilized and blessed. Likewise, in mirages, all the replicas of the Vajrayana moon, the full-fledged version of the Vajrayana moon from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in barrage they descend to merge when they visualize at the heart of your mother, the heart of your father, the one with each one of family members, including children, one with everyone in this entire universe. Amazing. So this guarantees, with this moon symbolizing the conventional Bodhicitta, guarantees that all sentient beings are going to be freed from the self-centered attitude. And this Vajra symbolizing the ultimate Bodhicitta or the wisdom of emptiness guarantees that the self-grasping ignorance is going to be exterminated, the cognitive obscuration is going to be exterminated from the minds of all human sentient beings, thereby taking all sentient beings, all mother sentient beings to the state of the ultimate purity, ultimate happiness, where misery is unheard of. And this is amazing. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they have been dreaming about this, and today you did it. And so this is the greatest offering that you can make to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and this greatest gift that you can possibly offer, then make to your grandparents, all of family members, and all dear mother sentient beings. And today is such a memorable, amazingly meaningful day. This is the best way by which to extract the greatest meaning of your life, and you have given the greatest meaning to your life. And this is amazing day today, and you made it possible. And keep in mind that this is all happening because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and along with all dear sentient beings, as a gesture of thanking all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, slowly get up to make 3 prostrations. Okay, page 35. To reinforce that this bodhicitta, the two bodhicittas are never separate from you in your future lives. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Okay, now to reinforce the profound compassion on the basis of experiencing emptiness. Stanza 150, page 36. Therefore, sentient beings resemble dreams. Upon analysis, they are like planted trees. Whether they are released or not from sorrow, ultimately there is no difference. What is there to gain and what is there to lose? With things that are empty of true existence in this way, who is there to pay me respect and who is there to abuse me? From what will pain derived? What is there to be happy or unhappy about? When I search for the ultimate nature, who is there to crave and what is there to crave for? Upon analysis, this world of living beings is found to have no true existence. Therefore, who can die here? What is there to come and what has been? Who are friends and who are relatives? O you who are investigating reality, please recognize, as I've done, that all this is just like space. Those who wish to be happy are greatly disturbed by causes for conflict and overjoyed by the causes of pleasure. Not finding happiness, they suffer, and in order to find it, they exert themselves. They argue with others and cut and stab one another. With many wrong deeds, they live in a state of great hardship. Even though they repeatedly come to happy existences and experience much pleasure in them, upon dying they fall for a long time into the unbearable suffering lower realms. Within conditioned existence, the chasms of suffering are many, and the liberating comprehension of ultimate truth is all absent. Furthermore, the apprehension of true existence and the understanding of emptiness mutually contradict one another. Yet if while in conditioned existence I do not realize this ultimate truth, I shall continue to experience the limitless ocean of misery, unbearable and beyond analogy. Likewise, through not having realized emptiness, I have little strength for virtue, and my human life of leisure and endowment is indeed very short. Also, I strive hard to live long and avoid illness. I am concerned with hunger, rest, and sleep. I am injured by others and keep meaningless company with the childish. Therefore, this life swiftly passes with no meaning, and it is very hard to find in this state, where is there the means to reverse this beginningless habit of grasping true existence? Furthermore, devils are exerting themselves to cast us into vast unfortunate realms. They show us many mistaken paths, and it is hard to resolve the doubts about the perfect way. It will be hard to find the leisure of a human life again, and extremely difficult to find the presence of the Buddhas. It is hard to forsake this flood with disturbing conceptions. Allah, sentient beings will continue to suffer. Oh, indeed, sorrow for those that drift in the river of pain, who, although they experience great miseries, are unaware of the suffering they go through. For example, some ascetics wash themselves again and again, and others repeatedly enter fire. But although they thereby suffer greatly, they pride themselves in being content. Similarly, those who mistake their suffering for joy and live as though there were no aging or death are first of all killed by the lot of death, and then experience the unbearable misery of falling into lower realms. When shall I be able to extinguish the pains of the tormented by the fires of suffering with the rain of my accumulated happiness that has sprung from the clouds of my merits? And by having in the manner of not referring to true existence, respectfully gather the accumulation of merit, when by referring to the other will I be able to reveal emptiness to those who are wretched and sad? Okay, now to increase the merit, increase the part of the wisdom, emptiness, and bodhicitta, let us again do the rejoicing. In order to further increase it from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I have been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I am one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, the dedication. I dedicate the marriage thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times and to the upholding of the doctrine and scripture of insight. May I in all lives, through the force of this marriage, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, the renunciation, Bodhicitta, perfect will in the 2 stages. From our 2 collections, vast is space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance.